Hey, what's up, guys? Matt Arroyo here. I'm sitting here at Gracie Tampa South Martial Arts, and I wanted to go over this match I had last weekend, last Saturday. It was a gi match. I don't really compete too much in the gi anymore. Actually, before this match, I hadn't competed in the gi in 10 years since I was a purple belt. Crazy. But I wanted to get a lot of matches. I'm training for EBI coming up, Eddie Bravo Invitational, September 11th, 2016. So I need to compete. And what I do when I prepare for big tournaments is I just compete in every single thing that comes close to my area, and I train like a madman. So that's what I'm doing right now. That was my first one back. Hadn't competed in a while, and let's just watch the match. Hopefully, you guys can pick up a few things from it. Let's see. Boom. All right, so we're just looking. This is me here, obviously. We kind of look similar from here. He's from Gracie Baja, black belt. Looks like a gray belt, but it's black. It's like really faded. Anyway, so we're going at it here, back and forth, and that was pretty cool. So let me just explain what I did there. Depending on um, what leg is forward, I always try an arm drag takedown first, because if one leg's forward, I do one of them. If the other leg's forward, I do a different one. So the one I'm doing here, he's looking for grips. I'm not letting him get the grip. All right, so now I feel like, I felt his grips. They weren't really that strong. I feel like I should go in for a takedown now. So what I want to do is arm drag this arm. So I grabbed it with my right, his left arm, my right arm, and I took this left arm, shot it behind here, just to pull his arm across my body so that I can get a nice angle. I turn his body. So when he's turned, it's harder to stop a takedown. So what I do now is after I get the arm drag, I release the arm. See, I turned him, got a nice angle. I lift this leg up in the air, and then I take my left arm and I club his head this way. Okay, so I grab his leg, lift it so there's nothing to step with, and then I take my hand, it's kind of like on his head. I really want to get it right here around his neck with my forearm and club him this way. And once I club them that way, there's nowhere to step. There's no foot to step. So they fall right on their butt. It looks awesome, and I really love that takedown. But what he did instead is he just kept turning. So if he keeps turning, he really just gives me the back. So as he turned, and he's like kind of trying to run out now, I was thinking about just continuing on with the single leg, maybe lifting him, running the pipe. I was like, you know what? There's his back. Why would I do that? Let me just take his back. So I reached, I grabbed him, I sat to my butt, threw both hooks in. You can't just throw both hooks in, that doesn't do anything. You got to get the seatbelt grip. So I threw my dominant arm over the shoulder, positioned my hips now underneath him with a little shrimp, boom, got the hooks, secured my 4 points. So now what he does is he's pushing my leg in between his legs and he's locking it. He's actually trying to ankle lock me here. I was really surprised at how close he came to extending my foot. It actually kind of hurt. Now what he does is he wants to like death clamp this leg so I can't get it out for pretty much the rest of the match. But I get it out at the end, and I'll show you that. I'm not going to have you sit and watch this whole thing of me trying to get this leg out, because that's basically what it is. Which is why another reason I like to compete no-gi, because a lot of times I can just slip that out with sweat or just, slide it out. With the material, it makes it really difficult. And he had strong legs. He was a bigger guy. He was maybe 195, I think. So I'm trying to use tactics from my back attack blueprint. As a lot of you watching this have seen my back attack blueprint course. So once I get the back, that's all I implement. I go right to it. So kicking this leg over his wrist and kicking it off and trapping it is what I'm trying to do. The reason I can't get it is because I don't have the angle, because he has this leg trap. I can't shift my hips here more, turning and getting a nice cut on that ankle, on that wrist with my foot. It doesn't stop me from trying. I'm going to keep kicking it over. I'm going to keep extending it, and he kind of knows what I'm doing. He's leaving his elbow up nice and high. A couple times I break the grip and I kick it down. But again, I'm too far out this way with my butt. I want to get my butt under him more to get that. And again, I want to get my leg out too. So by him doing this death grip here, two things are happening. Number one, two things are happening by him doing this death grip. Number one, he's keeping me on his back because in order to get out, he's going to have to get that hook out. Uh, we'll look over here for a second. This is Wagner Rocha's daughter, and this is actually one of my students, Gloria, um, going at it. But let's not lose focus. Let's go back to the match. Let's fast forward a little bit. Again, I'm just trying to get that arm trapped. The whole purpose of the back attack blueprint is to make it an unfair advantage. Make it so that you trap his arms, and then it's your one arm versus none of his. That's how we got to do it. But again, since my leg is trapped, he's kind of putting a wrench in my plan. Although I'm just going to keep going. You know, I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep putting pressure on. I'm going to start working on his collar soon, digging his face. Basically, what he's doing is keeping me on his back. I have 4 points. He should be like kind of loosening that up and popping this hook out and trying to get out. But really, he's just being extra patient for some reason. But he's down on points, so it's kind of like I'll be more patient because I'm up on points. I don't have to do anything. I want to. I hate winning on points. I like winning. I mean, whatever. But I'd rather win by submission. So I do eventually submit him at the end. So let's just fast forward. This is just more of this. I really try to see that right there was the unflexible version of the arm trap in my back attack blueprint series. He was able to get his arm back free. He keeps getting this grip on my gi. It's not really doing a whole lot. It's just kind of stopping the choke, which is good for him. But it's keeping me on his back. Everything he's doing is keeping me on his back. So it's kind of easy to keep the control. But now I get a little more aggressive. I'm getting impatient. Like I get too impatient sometimes in matches, and I'll lose a position or I'll just go for the kill. Sometimes it's at my downfall. But again, I like to finish, and I don't want to mess around too much. So let's just continue on. I do a few grip breaks here that are from the course. One of them is called the May I Help You grip break. Another one was the flexible version of the arm trap. If you hear screaming kids right now, it's because I'm sitting in my office at my school, and there's summer camp going on. So sorry about that. Gloria smiling for the camera. Happy, I guess, that I'm on the kid's back. All right, so now I got my, did you guys see that? I got my hook out. He's trying more actively to escape, which is good, and it allows me to get my body triangle. I love the body triangle. I like to get it up a few inches higher so that it kind of goes on the floating ribs, and I just squeeze, man. Right now I'm squeezing at about 75%. He's feeling it. He knows it. I call this the dilemma. He's got a dilemma. He could stay here and take my body triangle, or he can open up his neck and let me choke him. And a lot of times people just let you choke him because they don't want to feel that squeeze anymore. So right now, as you see, I release my hands. I don't care if he gets his back to the mat because I know he won't be able to turn into me. So I'm a little bit more freely now with shooting the choke in. And I punch it in. I'm not going to lie, I kind of punch the choke in. Right now I got a grip on his lapel. It's not very deep, so I don't know if I'll be able to get the choke or not. But I threw my leg over his shoulder. I'm going to extend back and try to finish the choke. I'm just pulling the gi across. I'm trying to pull my wrist through his throat. But right about now I realize, okay, it's not very deep. He's not very worried. He's not choking. So I switch to the Kimura grip a la Wagner Rocha. Right now I'm realizing it's not working. I grab his arm with my right hand, grabs his wrist right now. I get the Kimura, I make sure it's nice and tight. With the Kimura, right now, even though my foot just came, or my leg just came off his shoulder, he cannot turn into me because the Kimura is keeping him in place until I get my leg over his head. Now I put the pressure. And you can keep your legs apart and just bite down, or you could lock them. Whenever I get the Kimura grip, I prefer to lock my legs together and flare my knee over his face. It's really good control for me, so that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to fight the wrist. Everyone seems like they fight the elbow and try to pull the elbow. It's not going to work. You got to go after the wrist. And I really love wrist locks. If you like wrist locks too and you want to learn some of these, I have a wrist lock course now as well. You can check that out. But right now I'm going for the wrist lock. I pried his hand off of his bicep, and I'm attacking the wrist. And because I attack the wrist, he gives me the arm bar. So they always work well together. Boom, there's the wrist. See his wrist bent? Right here. That's me pulling it down. So the only way out is for him to bring his wrist over here so that he gets out of my lock, but that gives me the arm bar. So that's the plan. He could tap to the wrist lock, that's fine, or he can give me the arm. And there's the extension. So right now I didn't pull too hard. I wanted to give him a chance to tap. I don't really like to break people's elbows. I don't like to hurt anybody. It's not really fun for me to, if I got a pop. Some people like it. I'm not a fan of it. But I'll do it because I'm going to win the match. And I'm not going to let him get out because I'm not pulling hard. So what I do is I extended it. And as a black belt, he knows what he can do. And he knows how his escapes are. And usually when the arm's extended, you should try a last-minute effort of a hitchhiker escape of some sort, and then if you can't and he extends it again, just tap. Well, he didn't really do either. He just tried to step this leg over my head. So right now I'm still giving him an opportunity. He has not tapped yet. He's thinking about it. So he thought about, right now he should have just tapped, but he thought, okay, one last effort. He was going to. So then I extended it, and I did hear a couple pops. Nothing crazy. He should be fine. But then he screamed, tap right now, as I'm pushing my hips through his elbow. He yelled, tap, tap, tap. So I just let go right away, and that was the end of the match. So that was last Saturday. I'm competing again tomorrow, which is another Saturday. Hopefully I can tape a few more and go through a few more things. Hopefully you got a lot from this. And yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. But that was all Back Attack Blueprint 101. So if you want to check that out, it's www.backattackblueprint.com. $77. You get the digital version. You can go through the entire Back Attack Blueprint from how to control them like I was doing there, how to get the arms trapped, and how to actually finish a submission, a choke, or an armbar, or a triangle from the back. Really good stuff. Hope you like it, and hope you got something from this. See you later.